Hi, my name is Em. I love colorful makeup and colorful language, and I also love ranting and putting makeup on. Today, I want to talk / rant about utilitarian products, condescension, minimalist products, the theater of wealth, and a whole bunch of other stuff as we put this makeup on my face. If you like colorful makeup, if you like bitches with lots of opinions, or you like cute fat babes, I would love for you to subscribe, and let's just jump right in to the get ready with me. I feel like as somebody that has been in the beauty and skincare community for a while now, this is one of those conversations that kind of goes around and around and around. And, have we gotten really anywhere over the last couple years? I don't know about that. But every time I see this conversation come up, I get frustrated by it. Whether it's creators talking about it, whether it's just people on the internet talking about it. I'm not saying that everyone is incorrect, because obviously I'm just a bitch on the internet, and I also can be wrong. Y'all can disagree with me. That's okay. But I get very frustrated about the conversation around the utilitarian products in the beauty space, and probably really more so in the skincare space. And I feel like there is this recurring conversation about the kind of usefulness or the need for luxury or higher priced skincare. Here's the thing. For me, right now, most of my products are affordable or on the more affordable scale. I have a decent amount of COSRX things. I have e.l.f., I have CeraVe, but I've also used some higher price skincare in my days and quite enjoyed it. And I have lower price things right now that I'm enjoying quite a lot. I will go back again and again to the COSRX Snail Mucin Essence because it actually feels really nice on the skin and it's doing things for me. But this conversation about skincare always feels so stripped of joy. And I definitely kind of look at the rise of a brand like The Ordinary as perhaps a place to blame, because The Ordinary has some fine products. They're fine. I'm going to say they're fine. I haven't tried the whole catalog. Of course I haven't. It's a huge catalog. But I find brands like The Ordinary to be very utilitarian and not very enjoyable to actually use. I also find them to be far more overwhelming to kind of build a skincare routine. And I mean, this is kind of a side rant, but I also feel like the entire point of saving money kind of gets nullified because a lot of us end up buying so many different products to do the things that something that maybe is a step or two up in price point could do with just one product. So that's kind of a just an aside on The Ordinary. But there is this level of scoffing and disdain and whatnot on higher price point skincare that seems very focused on utility. And I obviously don't care what you use on your face, and I don't think all luxury skincare is good either. But I do think that there is a whole lot of negating of pleasure and enjoyment in our skincare when you so condescendingly dismiss higher price point skincare. Because again, it's not everyone that dismisses it. It's not a problem for, all conversations, but there's a lot of conversations that will say things like, this $10 cleanser is doing the same thing as this $50 cleanser. And maybe, but also maybe not. But the sensorial experience of using products can vary so greatly across price points. And I'm probably going to say this disclaimer over and over and over again in this video because I don't want to come across in a super classist way. I am also a broke bitch. So I understand, these kinds of conversations being kind of like, why does it even matter? But it matters to me because the utility of products, or the intense focus on utility over other things, really does diminish a lot of the pleasure and enjoyment in it. And for some of us, if this is our hobby, if this is the thing that brings us a bunch of joy, then, somebody kind of just diminishing the way a product that we enjoy works, or diminishing it only for price point. I did this as kind of just like a casual get ready with me because I knew I was going to kind of struggle with exactly how to word these things. So sometimes these kinds of makeup talking videos give me a little bit more freedom to just fumble over things versus a video where I'm just talking at the camera. But the scrutiny and judgment and condescension towards people for choosing to use something that is a higher price point over something that theoretically does the same thing at a lower price point, that kind of energy is just very fucked up to me. The sensory experience of applying things is huge. I am obviously coming at this from a very neurodivergent, autistic perspective and experience. And it's something I am still discovering about myself. So it's, it colors a lot of how I talk about things, because I didn't understand why sometimes these things matter to me before. And now I kind of get it more, or I'm understanding. So yes, there are definitely, products that do similar behaviors for half or a third or a fourth of the price. But a lot of times those products don't have the same textures. They don't have the same packaging and disposal, meaning like a dropper. I fucking hate droppers. Pumps, hell yeah. Airless pumps, double hell yeah. A lot of lower price point products are not, investing in their packaging because they can't. That will cut into or they won't. They can't, but really they won't. That pleasure, the joy of how something feels, how it dispenses, and also the quality, because they aren't made the same. I use the ordinary lactic acid. Does it do what lactic acid is supposed to do? Yes. Does it do what Sunday Riley Good Jeans has done for my skin in the past? No, absolutely not. Does my skin enjoy the ordinary lactic acid more than it enjoys some other chemical acids, exfoliants? Yes, but Good Jeans is far better. It gives me some moisture. I can apply it in kind of like different levels. I like the texture a lot more. I like what it actually does for my skin, and I can tell a difference. But I'm a broke bitch, so I'm not affording, Good Jeans anytime soon. And for you, you might have other products that are that way for you. You might know that there is theoretically something out there that is a lower price point that should do the same thing. Doesn't mean it's going to do the same thing, and it doesn't mean you have to buy that. Because if you have the money to spend, and this is something you want to spend your money on, you should be able to do that. And cheaper skincare isn't inherently worse than higher priced skincare, but it's also not inherently better. I think a lot of times lower price point brands really lean into the marketing of, we are giving you, this thing at this price point and it's so amazing and other brands would never do this. But that's still marketing. I can still like a brand's product But if I see the way that they're presenting it, sometimes that really pushes me away. For example, The Ordinary. That kind of marketing really frustrated me because I felt like it was being presented as this straightforward, easy way to do skincare. And it was neither straightforward nor easy to me. And I'm going to say again, I can't necessarily say that I saved money trying to build a whole routine off of The Ordinary. But the reason why the utilitarian topic really frustrates me and really gets me ranting is that depriving yourself does not make you a better person. Building a skincare routine, a makeup routine, a life routine based on bare necessities, this gets the job done, it's good enough, I'm gonna make it work, and I'm saving all this money, that does not make you a better person. Depriving yourself of joy should not be the goal in your life across a lot of different things. I talk about it with diet culture, but like we're talking about makeup and skincare today. Depriving yourself does not make you a better person. And if you are using a very utilitarian routine and you have tried other products, you've tried things that might be marketed as more luxurious, and you really don't see a difference, that's amazing. But I'm also here. I'm here for my fellow neurodivergent people who do have issues with texture, who do appreciate or need in an accessibility way certain kinds of packaging, who desire pleasure, who have a focus in finding pleasure in their life wherever they can because they have lived for so long, depriving themselves, not even realizing they were depriving themselves of neurodivergent joys. That's who I'm here to talk to, okay? I am not here to try to convince everybody to go buy expensive skincare, expensive makeup, expensive perfume. Like, I'm gonna buy from Dossier every day of my life moving forward. I don't give a fuck about fragrance. I think it's overpriced and overrated. But that's me. And y'all can think that way about makeup or about whatever you want to think about. But I really look at it from the perspective of somebody that has lived so much of my life just kind of like not even being aware of my needs, not even being aware of the importance of honoring sensory needs and sensory desires, and just kind of getting by to get by. And I might have known I had preferences, I might have known I liked certain things, but there is a certain kind of validation when you maybe figure some things out about yourself and you're like, oh, I didn't just have food opinions. I had sensory needs, and I have sensory needs. And that's really fucking cool because I can honor those needs and not make fun of them or condescend to myself about my needs. So yeah, I do want to talk about these things in that framework because, like I have said over and over again, I think I've said it over and over again at this point in time in filming, there is plenty of stuff in my life that is utilitarian. There is plenty of that. But that's out of need, not desire. That's out of necessity, not desire. I would rather have a more luxurious skincare routine. I would rather have more luxurious bath products. I would rather have more luxurious clothes, more comfortable clothes, softer, more cozy. I would rather have more comfortable shoes. I would rather choose pleasure over utility. And I think that's the other thing, is that people will kind of lump together this concept of utility with it works. It just needs to get the thing done. Everything that I am very much a comfort person. I am not going to wear uncomfortable shoes, uncomfortable clothes just because they're cute. Is that utility? Yeah, you could call that being utilitarian. Sure. But it's also about pleasure. It's more to me about pleasure than it is about utility. It's more about actively choosing to not live my life in displeasure, especially since I've lived a whole variety of life experiences in varying levels of displeasure. So I'm not against utility, but I am against the way that utility is used to lord over people and judge people and make people feel like they are just being silly and wasting their money, and why would you do that when you could just get this thing and it's so much more affordable and it does the same thing? No, it doesn't. It doesn't do the same thing, because product formulations are unique, generally speaking, across brands. We're not talking about Trader Joe's versus the grocery store. We're talking about, Trader Joe's is a valid example, but even then, you have packaging differences. You have availability differences. You can buy that amazing sunscreen everyone's loving at Trader Joe's now. Can you get it in 6 months? Can you get it in a year? I don't know. You can buy the Supergoop one that it's duping all year round. There's a price difference for that. There's also a convenience difference. And that's another part of it. Sometimes the pleasure that a thing is bringing us is the convenience. Using one product versus using 3. Give me the one product. Give me the one skincare product that's gonna do multiple things in one. A lot of my more affordable skincare doesn't do that, but some of my more expensive purchases in the past have done that. So that's kind of like the first part of the rant. We are not done yet. I mean, if you saw the title of this video, hopefully you got a sense that there was more coming, but also I am kind of doing a neutral adjacent look today. I know that I probably just put up another neutral video when you're seeing this, but this is more of my neutral zone that I want to play in. So there is this opinion that I see out in the kind of beauty spaces that I don't know if it's super new. It's something that I've seen over and over and over again, and I think that it has moments of being more impactful and more popular, and moments that it is less popular, but I've been seeing it a lot, and it does feel tied to this utilitarian conversation. Minimalist does not equal luxurious. In my opinion, there is a lot of flawed logic tied to that perception. There are plenty of over-the-top packaging, branding, aesthetics that feel luxurious as hell. There are also brands that are more minimalist that do feel luxurious. But there is a lot of minimalist packaging that gets touted as being so luxurious that I personally disagree with. I personally think it's a perception thing and not an actual quality observation, or not an actual observation of the product's quality and the packaging's quality. I was gonna go around the bend to get to this point, but I feel like I'd rather start at this point. And the point is that I cannot do eyeliner and talk. No, my eyes do not match. It is what it is. So I was going to kind of like dance around this or go around the bend to get to this point, but I feel like this is the crux of the point. Rich people are only minimalist by appearance or presentation. The theater of minimalism is just that. It's a show, because wealthy people have storage. They have rooms that the regular people don't go into. They have spaces where they can store all of their stuff and bring out only the stuff that matters in that moment. And I think that this is one of those like secrets of wealth that people don't know or don't want to talk about. And shout out to my dear friend Yolanda, because Yolanda was the first person that I think really vocalized that, and it made me really think about the presentation of being wealthy or of wealthy spaces. Now, I cannot say that I have been in a ton of wealthy spaces. still haven't. But first of all, I trust my friend, and they have. And also, I've been in a handful of truly wealthy spaces, and I think about how much of a presentation everything is. But I think in general, this minimalist approach to showing off your wealth is just showmanship. It's showing off how little you can display. And I think for all of us non-wealthy folks, it's also a way to make us feel shame for wanting and having stuff. Or not having stuff, but wanting it. I do think that there is a lot of shame, a lot of, look at me, I am so wealthy and I don't even want the stuff. I don't want it. You can keep it. We don't do stuff around here. And that has absolutely made its way into makeup marketing, into like a lot of marketing. But that presentation of wealth is aspirational, but I'm going to use the word again because I feel like it's actually, a solid choice. It really is just for show. It's for presentation. And so that ties in to me about the way people perceive minimalist packaging and branding. I'm not going to deny there are some brands out there that do a minimalist aesthetic and packaging and styling or whatever that I think is absolutely luxurious. I also think there is a lot of minimalist packaging that feels cheap, that looks and feels and functions cheaply, because function is a big part of it. The quality of something is kind of like I am weighing the quality of a thing on multiple different points, and function is a big part of it. There is something about minimalism, especially when we're tying it in with this whole, when you are not wealthy and you are always striving for or desiring wealth, because we all are. In some capacity, that's what we're all going for, because being broke is not fun. I know everyone says, and people will also say, money can't buy you happiness, but money buys you access. Money buys you space and time and the ability to take off work to go to the doctor, to have health insurance, or to not have health insurance, but just go to the doctor when you want to, or travel when you want to, or change jobs because you have, the security to do so, because money is not that big of a deal. Money does buy happiness, and money does bring more problems, sure, but no money brings a lot of problems, a lot of unsolvable problems. So I think that's all tied into the conversation about minimalism. This presentation, this theater of minimalism, first of all, we're chasing after something that is not even achievable or sustainable. Like, I think about the whole capsule wardrobe, minimal closet. I mean, I remember when that was a trend years back when I was still watching a lot of British beauty creators. And it never really, as somebody that was living in a big city and going out into a job 5 days a week, I was like, I would have to do laundry so often. I can't afford to just pay somebody to do the laundry for me. So now every weekend is gonna be full of me doing the laundry because I have a minimalist capsule. I'm good. And so a lot of times this thriving for minimalism ends up costing us more money and also happiness along the way, because we're chasing after something that's not actually workable for a lot of us. And in case you didn't hear me the first time, rich people are only minimalist by appearance. Even if they're rich and they have their capsule wardrobe, but it's actually a capsule wardrobe, but it doesn't affect them if they need to go buy a $300 sweater because their last one has a hole in it. Replace that expensive jacket because it got damaged. It doesn't affect their day-to-day life. Whereas for me, if I lost my favorite leather coat, please God no, it wouldn't just, I wouldn't be able to replace it. I would just be now without a piece in my wardrobe that I've worn so much, feels so important to my style and how I exist out in the world, and just brings me so much joy, and I wouldn't be able to replace it. And chasing minimalism does not get you closer to wealth. Living a minimal life, buying products with minimal branding, having a capsule wardrobe, those things don't actually get you closer to wealth. Sometimes they end up costing you more in the long run. Sometimes they might save you money, but have taken away pleasure, taken away convenience, taken away some other part of your life that is not as easily replaceable. I also find that the kind of judgment about, I'm calling it over-the-top packaging, that kind of judgment feels a lot like hearing wealthy people, rich people, whatever, hearing them talk about people that are gaudy, classless, the new money versus old money. Those kinds of judgments about packaging, just, I don't enjoy them, and it makes me, can activate some fight or flight. To repeat the point, over-the-top packaging doesn't also equal luxurious, but neither does minimalist. So here's the thing, if minimalist packaging truly does feel more luxurious to you, it feels more desirable, it's what you like to own, keep on buying the way you buy. If over-the-top packaging feels more luxurious to you, it's more desirable, it's something you want more of, keep shopping that way. If you bought between more minimalist packaging and more extravagant or over-the-top packaging, keep shopping that way. Just like with the rant about utility versus luxury, my point in all of this is that I think it's helpful to take a step back and question yourself why you buy or shop or believe the things you do. Not that they're the wrong things to believe or all the right things to believe, but just that sometimes our motives, the reasons we're doing the things we're doing, don't actually stem from the things that bring us the most joy and mean the most to us. They stem from what capitalism shoves in our face as to what is the most desirable. And being influenced by wealthy people, by general capitalist behaviors, being influenced by that is not a bad thing. It's not a wrong thing. It's the human condition, at least in the day and age that we live in. But it's okay to also take a step back and say, does that packaging actually feel more desirable to me than this packaging? Does this way of living actually feel more exciting and enjoyable and pleasurable? That word, every time I say it, I'm like, but like it's also a good word, and pleasure is really, it's comfort and it's joy. It's like all of the good stuff together. But is it actually a pleasurable way of living, or is it trying to replicate the theater of wealth that we get pushed in our face 24/7? I hope it resonated with y'all. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Keep it respectful, but I'm always open for conversations. You know, I would love to hear anything that kind of sprung to mind as you were listening. I will try to list the makeup details in the description box, but you are also always welcome to ask about that in the comments. I want to thank my patrons and my channel members. I am doing the YouTube thing for y'all. Patrons and channel members, you get my stuff first. I would say most of the time, and you have special access to stuff. So if anyone's interested, either platform is a great way to support me. And that is all. That is everything. Don't forget to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you are worth it. Bye, friends.